30 guinea pigs were dumped on the side of the road outside an apartment complex in Orlando, Florida. Unfortunately, I'm a couple hours away from Orlando, so I couldn't really come help with the rescue effort. I can't really foster. However, at the Joann's closing sale recently, I may have acquired a very large amount of fleece. So we're gonna make a bunch of hideys and send them to the rescue that stepped up. They're called the Sunshine Piggy Rescue, and I will put their information in the description down below. I do believe they are a pretty small local rescue, and this is a lot of guinea pigs, so they have really been working overtime to get all these pigs supplies and fosters and homes. I'm thinking I want to make them tunnels and snuggle sacks, and they also said that they could use hay bags, so I'm going to make them a few of those. I find that tunnels are a favorite for guinea pigs, so I'm going to make as many of those as I possibly can. Then I'll make a few snuggle sacks as well. And for the tunnels, I want them to be really good quality. I really find that they're a favorite, and if you make them really well, they can really last. I've had tunnels that I've made for like 5-6 years, and they're still doing great. One thing that I like to do when I make tunnels is make sure they have structure on the sides so that they actually stay open, because I have a little bit of plastic in here that holds them open, because I find that after 1 or 2 uses, tunnels will just turn flat and they'll just become beds, which is a lot less exciting for the guinea pigs because they usually want to hide in them. So of course I'll show some of the process here, but if you do want an in-depth tutorial on how to make the tunnels, I actually recently posted one. You can find that here. First tunnel I made, I was kind of like trying to figure out the thread tension and stuff. There were like a lot of missed stitches and imperfections. I'm gonna keep the first tunnel. I don't want to send a tunnel and like have it fall apart on them. So let's see what the piggies think. And that way you can kind of see the size and stuff, because I don't know if the rescue is gonna send me any pictures or anything. I'm not asking for anything in return. He made you a tunnel. It's a nice one. It's probably the nicest thing I've ever made for you. They gotta sniff it first. Make sure it's appropriate. They actually do need to wick it, but what do you think? I ended up making 2 designs of these. I made mostly these, but I made a couple of these just because I know that this fleece does work a little better for guinea pigs. Like it's the kind of like flat kind of fleece. I don't know the names of fleece, I'm sorry. I sew, but I'm not an expert, I'm sorry. So I made a bunch of these, and it also matches the nicest because this is like the mermaid fabric and then this is scales. But I did make a few of these, you know, just to give them a little bit of variety. But I really like the way that these turned out. This scales is not a fleece, but that doesn't really matter because it's like on the outside. It goes really well with the mermaids because obviously scales and mermaids. I think the colors match really well because they're not like the exact same colors, but they're like the same family. So I think it ended up looking really, really nice. One thing that I did discover, which is a little helpful tip, you know, I've made tunnels before, but making this many, I did learn a few things. I learned that it is easier if you don't perfectly line up this seam with this seam. In the beginning, I was trying to line up the seam of the scales fabric to the seam of the fleece fabric because it looks better that way. But what I found is that my like sewing machine kind of struggled. Now, there's probably things you can do. I don't know a lot about like changing tension and changing needles and all that. But what I do know is that because at the seams there's 2 pieces of fabric together and then there's 2 on top of it, it's like double the amount of fabric. So with the 2 seams, it was a lot of fabric all in one place and it was really thick. Sewing machine was kind of struggling with that a lot. And I do know that I have a good sewing machine, so I know for a fact there's something that I could do to fix that. I just don't know what it is. If you know, let me know in the comments and let everyone else know too. And we're gonna make some snuggle sacks. Some guinea pigs do prefer snuggle sacks. It really depends on a guinea pig's personality. In my cage, I like to offer a combination of different hideys. Snuggle sacks are a bit easier to sew as well. It's literally just 2 pockets that you sew together, and I'm even making this snuggle sack a little more complicated than it actually needs to be by kind of like folding over the inside bit to go on the outside just to make it a little bit cuter. Snuggle sacks are also really nice for holding your guinea pigs. You can pick them up in them, hold them with them, walk to wherever you want to take them, sit with them in your lap. And lastly, I made a few hay bags. Hay bags can be a nice way to keep the cage a bit cleaner and to offer them more hay to make sure they always have fresh hay. The hay bag was especially simple to make. I considered putting ribbons on the edges, like where I cut out the holes in the middle, so that it's not just like a raw edge, because basically what happens is when you cut fabric, once you start to wash it and use it over time, it'll fray. Like little bits of the fabric will start to come apart. Usually you'll either fold it over, like the edge of a shirt is like folded over and sewn so that the part that comes apart is on the inside, so it's like not a problem. Another option is times to put something else over it. It felt like none of the ribbons I had really worked well for that. So I decided to learn a new skill, which is serging. I know that my sewing machine technically can serge. I don't think it's the same as like an actual serger. I think it's kind of like a more basic version, but my sewing machine can serge. So I looked up some videos online and serged for the first time, and I think it came out pretty well. Basically, it kind of looped the thread around those raw edges to try to keep them nice and secure. And then sometimes I've put like keychains and stuff like that on here, but I actually think the ribbons are really nice. They're cute. You can just tie them on the cage wherever you want, make it pretty easy. These are the best hay bags I've ever made. I've made a couple hay bags before. It seems like it's better to not use fleece for hay bags. It just seems a lot easier to not have flexible, stretchy fabric because otherwise it kind of gets caught in the sewing machine. I know there's things you can put under it. Again, I'm kind of doing this the easy way, but I actually really like this because it's like nice and structured. Of course, the rescue's gonna do whatever they want with these, but it is a cute little complete set. And lastly, we must wick everything, and for some reason, my smart brain thought it'd be good to take a vertical video. Here is everything. I'm going to attempt to fit them all in here. I know that sounds crazy, but I am going to squish them. I hope they don't decide to pull everything out. I don't think that's super common for the Postal Service, but I know like at the TSA, I'm always worried they're going to open up my vacuum sealed bags of clothes and suddenly things aren't going to fit in my suitcase anymore. Sneak this in there with them. Either do this, which they will keep their shape better. I'm going to try to do them like this, and if I can't, then I'll actually flatten them. If you do ever make tunnels like this, they will kind of misshape a little in the washing machine. It is best to do it on delicate if you can, and in a garment bag if you can. But if you don't, it's not a big deal. You can reshape them a little bit when you are done washing them, and they will just slowly lose their integrity, but they'll still be totally fine. Even if the circles don't stay up fully, they'll still give them a little bit of extra like elevation so that your guinea pigs can nuzzle their nose into it rather than them being completely flat. I feel like I'm packing up Christmas decorations for the holidays. I don't know if anyone else tries to put all their Christmas decorations in the smallest possible box, but I totally do. This is about half, so let's see if I can get these in. I don't know how it works if this kind of bulges a little, but I think the whole point of flat rate boxes is that it doesn't matter and they'll still ship it. So I'm hoping even if it doesn't stay perfectly flat, that that's okay. I mean, they have flat rate envelopes too, which obviously don't stay flat. All right, we still got some space in there. I think we can do this for real. I'm actually kind of shocked. I was afraid I'd have to not send some or something. Please don't let that be foreshadowing of some kind. It might actually make sense to fold these a different way. If I can fold these a way that makes them long, maybe like this. Is a puzzle, and I've always liked puzzles. I'm the person you call when you like think your fridge is full and need to put leftovers away. Your fridge is not full, trust me. All right, I think that works. Tell me in the comments, did you think I would be able to fit all that in there? I'm watching you. Be honest. I did also write them a little note. Got my little signature on it. Can't see the rest. That's for them. It's personal. All right, I want to make sure that I get the flap where it's supposed to be, so I'm going to just kind of put some weight on it. I actually did it. Let's bring this to the post office. Unfortunately, it's taken me way too long to finish editing and posting this video. I am sorry. I think at this point, all of these guinea pigs have found at the very least fosters, so that's great. I will still link them down in the description because rescues always need help. They always need fosters. However, there was recently legitimately 400 guinea pigs that were rescued in LA from a hoarding situation. All of the females expected to be pregnant. They're expecting over 800 guinea pigs by the end of the birth. If you are on the West Coast, I'm going to put some of the rescues involved in those guinea pigs, the LA 400, down in the description so you could consider helping out or adopting. And I will also put some other East Coast rescues in the description as well if you want to help out anyone else or adopt a guinea pig. And I have recently made some big changes in my life that are now going to allow me to put a lot more time and effort into this channel. So I will be posting a lot more content from now on, like some more guinea pig sewing tutorials, taming exercises and tips, a video on chinchillas versus guinea pigs, lots of fun stuff in the works. And of course, I also post shorts frequently as well. So make sure you subscribe for more guinea pig content.